Van der Poel with a rocket attack. Here he goes, gritted teeth. Van der Poel is putting everybody in the shade.
Get back to your feet quickly, Mathieu van der Poel. The shoe is broke on the right-hand side. It needs tightening, and this could be even more drama on a day packed full of it. Mathieu van der Poel seemingly cruising away, and in the style of Dennis Menschel. And it's time now for the big names to take on the Tijnberg. On the left-hand side is Van der Poel, who's already making his move, crunching on the pedals now, trying to get onto the wheel of riders up to the front. Of course, Tom Squinch is also there. Stalven is putting down the pressure on the pedals, and here we go, the world champion taking off on the Tijnberg, and at the moment nobody's able to follow. Pedersen is trying, Van Aert is starting to struggle a little and slip and slide. Trentin is there as well, and Van der Poel is starting to open up a little bit of a gap, Adam Blythe. Now Van Aert makes his move, and Van der Poel is on his wheel. Amazing how good they both are. Van der Poel, who's on the wheel there, he followed that, and look, Visma Leasebike must chase. This time not Van der Poel making the move himself, it seems, but it is Jorgensen coming across. There's a rider there, it looks like it might be Aski perhaps from Groupama FDSU. We'll have to get closer and have a look. And also UAE Emirates are involved. Now Van der Poel goes. He makes his move, and he's trying to bridge across to Masters. So Van Aert goes, Girmay follows, Narvaez, that draws out Fred Wright and Julien Alaphilippe. It was indeed Lewis Aski who was in that move. Stefan Kung is towards the back of this group. This now is Mats Pedersen, former world champion to the current man in the rainbow bands. Then you have the Killer Bees. Then you've got Girmay, the winner of Gent-Wevelgem. Group splits once more as Mathieu van der Poel takes off for the third time in this race. Still 66 kilometres remain, and it's old nemesis Wout van Aert who makes the chase.
It looks to me like Van Aert's just opening up his engine slowly, coming down from altitude. Sometimes you're that little bit rusty, you know, not quite there. He looks like he's got the power, the endurance, but just not that super sharpness, not that big explosive power yet. He's got to ride into it a little bit, but as I just said, Van der Poel coming to the front of that group, wanting to extend that gap. That's his second attack within 2 minutes. He wants a small group to go. He doesn't want all these riders to contend with. He doesn't want the strength in numbers from other teams.
And now it's Oyer Lascano's turn to make the move. And look how important the riders think he is now, because he's followed immediately. Van der Poel's there, Van Aert's on his wheel, the Spanish champion is a real engine, and now Van der Poel overtakes.
Same spot as last year, same part of the road on the left-hand side. Van der Poel over the top. Van Aert starting to bob that head right on his limit. This is a full-blown attack. Look at Van Aert on his bike. Van der Poel as well. It's almost that cyclocross style, Rob, where they're almost out the saddle just a little bit, banging down that power, each pedal stroke, and look at the gap. 50, 60, 70 metres, and he's opened up 3-4 seconds easy.
It's Lebert who's been caught at the top, who has hit the breakaway for Aker BMW, and it is the terrible twosome. Mathieu van der Poel, Wout van Aert, reunited on the road, renewing their rivalry, and with just less than 60 kilometres to go, making the race at Air 3 Prijs Harelbeke. It's Mathieu van der Poel. It is Narvaez. Kung is there. Oh, and he's down. You could just see Wout van Aert losing grip, losing balance. Wout van Aert is down, and getting going from that again on the Paterberg is almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take one monumental effort here for him to get back on there. What happened was Van der Poel came in, Van Aert was on the left-hand side, but Kung swung in front of him. Van Aert tried to go right to get around him, but just lost it on that bit. But Van der Poel.
This is a horrible hill. It's short, but it's steep. It is hellish. Lascano was up there with 7 seconds going on to it, and now Van der Poel is sailing away from him. Up the biggest gradient, his big rivals at the back. Contrasting fortunes for both of them, and the race now is on yet again. It's Paterberg advantage to Mathieu van der Poel, and as we now go to the Quaremont, it's everything to do, and almost a miracle required for Wout van Aert. At the front of Harelbeke is Mathieu van der Poel. He's finished second and third at this race, Adam. This is Mathieu van der Poel with a World Champions jersey on his back. They line the road left and right, and Van der Poel pedalling away, and listen to that. It's the sound of spring, and the gap to those behind him is increasing. 32 seconds and counting, 32 seconds and growing. Van der Poel could well be putting them to the sword here. There's a long way to go. There's a lot of riders behind, but the gap continues to increase. Is there going to be reaction? Vettel here. Van Aert is doing a good job though. Look at that, another few seconds out the gap. You talked about the time trial differences between the two. Maybe Van der Poel more explosive over those steeper climbs and the shorter differences, but Van Aert, we know that he's got the strong engine, hasn't he? He's a real diesel when he gets going, and when he gets up to full speed, there ain't much stopping him. He's taking it down to 20 seconds here.
13 seconds, he's getting close to this headwind. Van der Poel on the radio as well. Van Aert's just got to do what he's got to do. Let's not forget this man crashed on the Paterberg, but he's wheeling slowly but surely the world champion back in. He's got him in his sights, he's close. A little look over the shoulder there, Van der Poel as well. Free ride, Van Aert, 11 seconds now. Another climb coming.
There's quite the story brewing here. It looked like Wout van Aert was out the game on the Paterberg.
Cross headwind, Rob, all the way down to the finish. So just a little look there, and it is a cross headwind all the way down to the finish. This direction for pretty much most of it, and then a left turn with about 10k to go into the centre of Kortrijk. When they turn, they'll still get the sort of cross headwind, head crosswind. 16 seconds still holding.
Sections, 40 seconds is being shown on the chalkboard. 125 back to the next group. Difficult place this, isn't it, now for Van Aert, because he's seen that gap. He probably knows what's coming in terms of not being able to win the race unless a miracle happens. The rainbow is shining across this parkour in the shape of Mathieu van der Poel. Mathieu van der Poel's father, Adrie, came third, came second here. Van der Poel himself has been third. Last year was second, but he's back, he's done it. And finally, Mathieu van der Poel, after another classy performance, has done the business. We salute you. Van der Poel across the line. He ticks off another, and one of the biggest classics in the world has now been added to a perfect palmarès.
And this is what he needs. Yep.
And of course, the competition in the Tour de France is going to be world class. So he's just going to challenge himself a little bit more. We're 36 kilometers out from the finish line. What more can we say about him? It's just Mr. Diamond's fantastic cycling. Just like that entire, whether that's Vingegaard, whether that is Pogacar, whether it's Wout van Aert, the sprinters that we have, the classics guys that we have, the really young riders that we have, truly in a wonderful age at the moment. And these riders, they make racing so fun to watch, and we're all happy for that.
Impressive is it's been different riders chasing him at different times throughout this effort. He took off with just over 36 kilometres left to race. It was the two riders, Nash and Schoens from Trek Segafredo, doing most of the chasing. A little bit of help from Abrahamsen from Uno X originally. But then the attack started after that. So fresh her riders jumping out of that chase group to try and get across to Mathieu van der Poel. But he's fended every acceleration off.
Van der Poel, a long attack after Johnny Vermeers completely emptied the tank at the front of the peloton on the climb of the Côte de la Petite Somme. And then Mathieu van der Poel almost casually attacked off the front, glancing over his shoulder so that nobody was even able to follow. His maximum lead was 44 seconds. At a certain point it went down to 15. They could almost touch him, but then the chasing, the organization in the chase was completely gone, and the gap went out again. Mathieu van der Poel on his way to the win here in Mur de Durbuy. There it is, Mathieu van der Poel victorious in Durbuy, 41.4 kilometers an hour average. We have action straight away. Lotto Destiny here, Brent van Moer, Victor Kampenaerts, and following on his wheel is the world champion, Mathieu van der Poel. Victor Kampenaerts goes again with Mathieu van der Poel on his wheel. Well, Mathieu, we still have 71 kilometers to go, which is just over 1.5 hours of racing.
a bit of problem. There's a problem here for the mechanical
So 66 kilometers to go as two of the riders of the Lidl Trek team are making their way back to the team car, as this attack by Mathieu van der Poel in the feed zone is almost eliminated. Bibs, Mathieu van der Poel quickly followed there by Florian Vermeers.
They've got a plan, and this was what the plan was, that Mathieu van der Poel would sit in the group and try and come across pretty much on his own, and that's what he was kind of looking for. Mathieu Trentin can't follow, Vermeers can't follow, so it's whether Mathieu van der Poel can get across to this group on his own.
Well, he bridged the gap to just 10 seconds at the moment. Trentin, the second rider, Florian Vermeers, the third.
Mathieu van der Poel will come across and
he made his way across to the first four. Seven riders can actually win the bike race, but who would be the fastest when we have a sprint of seven?
In this one, it's what you got left in the legs. It's, I would say the fastest man in here is Mathieu van der Poel.
But yeah, this is, you can see it, some parts of the road are still wet, some parts are dry, and that is a nasty wound there for Frank van der Broek. Kilometers to go. The peloton cannot play poker, but the 6 riders at the front, they can't play poker either. The gap is awfully small, but there's also just 3.7 kilometers left. It could still fall both ways, Brian. There is the Flamme Rouge. There's a little bit hidden there on the left side of the road. Gianni Vermeers is completely emptying himself for the world champion. His teammate, Mathieu van der Poel. Florian Vermeers glancing over his shoulder. Fuglsang in 4th position. Lars Bove in 5th. And Turgis in last position. Very tricky there on the white stripes with the rain that has been. But these are the cameras at the finish line. Gianni Vermeers, he's doing everything to get that first victory. victory for his teammate in the rainbow stripes. It's a perfect position right now for Mathieu van der Poel. The peloton is also in this shot, but they will be too late. They just left the chase too late. Mathieu van der Poel in third position. When is he going to launch that sprint? We still have Lars Boven there in the yellow, full sung for Israel Premier Tech and Turgis, and there is that first sprint by Florian Vermeers, and it has to be Mathieu van der Poel who has to go past Florian Vermeers on his way to his first victory in the rainbow stripes. And of course everybody loves this. It is the 16th of September and the world champion wins for the first time in his rainbow jersey.
This is hill number 2 of 17, the Kapellenberg. And now Mats Pedersen takes off. Here we go. The world champion takes off on the Valkenberg. His teammates doing the work to close the gap, and it's acceleration by the man in the rainbow jersey who decides that he has to take the bait, has to make the move, and look at how he gets across. And it's Van der Poel now then. You questioned it. Does he have it? Are there the minerals there to respond? It doesn't look like it, but you never know with Mats Pedersen. He is making the change in acceleration, and he's doing his best to hold the wheel. But look at the acceleration from Van der Poel. The crowd cries, and it's the world champion giving them exactly what they want again. Never mind any Mercs, it's happened to Cortina as well. If you're running, you're in trouble. And it's a mechanical issue, it seems, for Ivan Garcia Cortina. And while that happens, Mathieu van der Poel makes another move. The rest must chase, and those dreams have been ruined. Oh my word! He's stuck in the mud as well. And here is the gap, it's growing. This is like looking back to the 1980s. There's mud on the Koppenberg, and there's riders off their bikes behind having a walk. And the rest have got their foot on the ground. Mathieu van der Poel's there. This is Matteo Jorgensen. They're left, they're right. There's masses of crashes. It's like the famous 1980s ascents all put together again. The Koppenberg, with its classic nasty side on show today. It's Van der Poel who is alone towards the top. Oh, look at the gaps growing. They're exploding. 47 seconds to Jorgensen. A minute and 1 to the group we just saw. 1:29 from riders just starting the Timeberg. He has blown the race to smithereens. An acknowledgement of what he's just done. Yet another special performance. It's now 3 for Mathieu van der Poel, on his way to becoming a monument among monument winners. It's Van der Poel on the line. Van der Poel in a world class of his own.
Welcome to hell. The gates are open and the race starts. Van der Poel now goes to the front and puts on the hurt on everybody else. The world champion starts to make the move. Here comes the world champion, here comes the attack, Mathieu van der Poel. He launched from about 5 riders back, and here he goes, the Rainbow Band. It is Mathieu van der Poel at 61 kilometers an hour. Mathieu van der Poel is the leading actor in the theatre of the Carrefour de l'Arbre. 2:56 his advantage as the crowd lean in and see the rainbow bands of a masterful performance from a world champion at the very top of his game. Mathieu van der Poel, any moment now, will hear the eruption of an expectant crowd who are about to greet a world champion for the first time since 2018. As he comes in now, wow, the reception is absolutely electric. The winner of the 121st Paris-Roubaix, with the crowd absolutely on their feet. It is rainbows in Roubaix. Monumental Mathieu van der Poel wins his second Paris-Roubaix.